Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're just gonna have a little chuckle. We have an incident with this ultimate pokeflute idiot Brandon, who got a nice little talking to from Reddit. I really love the fact that the Pokemon community is paying attention, that they're calling out the scummies of the scumminess world of the Pokemon hobby, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing when it works. When someone does something extremely wrong and they get pizzoned from Pizza Hut all over the internet. We'll get into that in a second. First, we have to address this nice little post here where Ultimate Pokeflute Brandon says, have Rattle go live with me so we can talk about how many points of info he's absolutely wrong about Lamau. Funny how none of these cards are altered when all of mine are. So he's full of crap here. This dude is a low IQ, can't make money in any other way other than deceiving people in the Pokemon community. So don't worry, guys. He's already been banned from events. Now he apparently was getting his friends to get things signed for him. So we'll do a little bit of a recap. I do have a couple videos that we'll touch on. These are these two right here. We'll go through the details on those, at least briefly. I'll put a link to both those videos down below in case you haven't seen them. You're going to want to watch them. I know they didn't get that many hits, but it's important information for the hobby. If you're collecting, if you're buying signatures, this is important stuff. This is scumbag stuff to the max. I told Brandon that if he would like to talk, he's welcome to do so. We can do it in a Discord call. He wanted to have me on his Instagram live. That's not happening. He was concerned. I know they all pretend that they're concerned that I was going to chop it up and take stuff out of context. I guess that's the biggest fake excuse that anyone could ever give. You guys know out there that I'm lazy and I'd much rather have the entire thing uploaded regardless. I don't want to edit if I don't have to, and I also want full context if it's something that requires full context. So it would have been a full context, full conversation. If he wanted to talk my ear off for 16 hours, we'd sit here and let him do it. I don't know how he'd talk his way out of this thing. He's a shitty, absolute shitbagger to the extreme. Yeah, we're gonna, it's okay. We're gonna get a good laugh. He's gonna get a good dragging when he posts on Reddit. But let's see here. What do we got in the two videos here? So most importantly is the fact that this individual is not only reselling signatures. It's not the end of the world if somebody wants to resell a signature. It's a little bit disrespectful and it's a little bit weird that your intention is to resell a signature, in my opinion. But I understand that not everyone can necessarily make it to an event. And so maybe you get someone to get something signed for you. To me, that wouldn't be as meaningful, but it's kind of cool to have something signed by the artist. If it's something that you appreciate, if it's an artist that you love their artwork, etc. It's another layer of collecting. But where it's not cool is where Brandon here and his friend, he says he's always referring to him as his friend, but then at the same time wants to pretend that he didn't know the entire history behind the cards. Essentially, Kamiya, Pokemon artist that is known for whenever they sign something, it's always personalized. They specifically tell anyone that they sign stuff for, please don't resell this. And for what you would think that you'd be respectful of that, but no, these two absolute wiener babies to the extreme, they decided, hey, let's just wipe off the signatures and sell the cards. They're going to let on that, no, they weren't all for sale. There was a large chunk of them for sale. And then just as an added little bonus, not only did they deceive this artist into signing things for them, under the guise that they were a friend, that they were a fan, promised not to sell anything, then they wipe off the signatures or the personalization from the cards and sell them. So no, he didn't sell every single one. He'll let on that, oh, he wiped them all, but most of them are for his collection. But as we'll see here again, he's clearly just trying to sell them. He's trying to pass them off. Shame on PSA, who still now has this authentic altered thing. Some of them have no mention of that because it depends if if it's authenticated or if it already has a grade. Apparently they can't fix that. So we're going to keep bringing it up to them. Maybe I need to make a couple more social media posts where we ask them why they haven't been deactivated, because they should be. You shouldn't grade altered signatures. You shouldn't grade altered cards. You shouldn't put that in a slab whatsoever. And then oopsie doopsie changing it later on where somebody can barely see it if they look up some of the cert numbers is not acceptable. I get it. You don't want to pay out the values on this stuff, but you're going to have to now or eventually, because people should be very upset. I know I would be very upset. I think anyone in their right should be upset if they buy one of these things. You graded it. You should know different. If you're going to authenticate signatures, PSA, you need to either be there in person or have somebody that's experienced and that could, anyone that knows anything about Kamiya signatures in recent times knows that these would be personalized. There's no exception. It never happens. He doesn't ever not personalize these cards. So that's them being lazy and taking your money to authenticate or pretend to authenticate shit. All right, enough of that. Anyway, he ended up getting banned, of course. The low IQ friggin' monkey that he is, he decides that he's gonna monkey rage and pretend that he's gonna hit somebody. He says he's gonna hit them at an event. So then he gets banned from the event, the signing event, which he should have been banned to begin with. Just in terms of Japanese artists and I guess any artists in general, typically you don't want to cause a lot of controversy or issues or anything like that at events. So violence is definitely something that you don't want on the scene. If you want them to have a good time doing it, if you want people there to have a good time meeting the artist, that's what they're there for. Not these flippin' dippers that are just there to make a buck. That'll make their kids stand in line so they can get some extra signatures and sell them on eBay, wipe them and sell them on eBay. So regardless, I think just the disrespect that they showed to an artist that's in poor health, pretending to be his friend, wiping the signatures, reselling that stuff, that's bad enough, but then he's dumb enough to make physical threats of violence towards others at a similar event. So he got banned for that reason. He's sending cards in through his friends. Now he's letting on that he didn't send it through his friends. Regardless, you're an idiot. And I'm glad that we're about to take a look at the absolute drag fest that is Reddit here. We have Ultimate Pokeflute, who posts this bad boy. Pop 1. We got one of the altered cards here. You can see here, no personalization on that bad boy because he wiped it. Unusual Soup says, stop altering signed cards. Gosh darn it. Ultimate Pokeflute says, they are my cards to do as I please, LOL. So, like, he's gonna sometimes admit, him and the other dude, friggin' Rob Diven, that they're the two dumbest. Like, half the time they're gonna lie that they didn't do something, and half the time they admit it. Like, their brains are so scrambled that they can't even come up with a decent lie or a decent story or a decent, like, I don't even know. It's like they don't, at some points they're saying that they didn't do anything. Anyway, let's get back into the Reddit thread here. We gotta ream through this bad boy. Intellectual says, it is a sign of utmost disrespect in the Japanese artist community to resell signed cards. People like you are the reason why some Japanese artists are no longer doing signings. Please refer to the case where someone sold a signed Lily card by Saito, and it is disrespectful and should be punished. And to add, your behavior is abhorrent. The way you talk to people makes it apparent that you not only disrespectful to artists, you're disrespectful to people offering valid criticisms. So it's not so much, I'm not even like, I don't even think necessarily just selling the signature is the worst part. It's the fact that they faked friendship with the artist who told them specifically not to sell, and they wiped the personalization. The wiping part, really bad. The fact that you did it when the artist said, don't do it, please don't sell my stuff, and you did it, extra super bad. The fact that he's in poor health, bonus points, you're a terrible person, and everyone should be slamming you online for it. Oh, man. All right. What do we got here? Should be punished, LOL, like I should go to jail for altering my own card, and that's wild. Well, it's, you know what? I'd say it's borderline fraud, if not entirely fraud. in my opinion. You're altering something. The same way if people are altering cards, trimming cards, polishing cards and stuff like that, it's fraud. You might not want to hear it, but it's fraud. It's not. With all due respect, I want to enjoy them without someone else's name into them. We gotta make sure we downvote this idiot to oblivion. There we go. We'll upvote this guy even though. Unusual soup. Sure, alter them, but tell people they are altered. That's the thing too. So like people will be like, yeah, it's my card, I can do whatever I want. But as soon as you start selling something to someone without disclosing that, you're in the wrong here. That's big boy, no boy, don't do it. You're wronging people. Every time you post without mentioning it, every eBay listing you don't inform people, you are deceiving people, not to mention the artists who signed in good faith, and they have asked you to stop. You're just not the type of person we want in the community. Well said. Very well said. Optimal part 3514 says, what does altering mean? Jesus. Shiny Magikarp says, Kamiya will only sign a card with added personalization for you to keep in your collection. This person is known for using chemicals to wipe off the personalization and sell for profit. He's been asked multiple times to stop doing this, so he sends friends in his place to continue to do this and try to make money. So that's mostly correct. He was more banned. He should have been banned for the wiping signatures and selling them, but he was banned for threats of violence. So if it's not one thing with this idiot, it's another that's going to get him banned and kicked out and shamed online. Wow, shameful. I agree. Bana, that is spot on. We got the minus 19 here. Ultimate Pokeflute says, it wasn't just a sell. I also didn't want someone else's name on my card. People act like I'm not a collector too. A lot of people in the signature niche do the same thing, but blah when it comes to sell. I chose to keep a few that I altered well and sell the others to other signature collectors that would enjoy them as well. It's a win-win. So you're just because you're disclosing now that people call you on your dumb shit, you think that counts as disclosing it? Because it doesn't. If it's not on the... You wouldn't have mentioned this. If no one said anything about you altering the stuff, you never would have brought it up. And then also, man, there's times where he like pretends that he didn't know that Kamiya wouldn't want him to do that. That Kamiya said not to sell. Kamiya tells you not to sell. That's how it works. That's how he works. He specifically asks. Others that he signed for. Yes, it's personalized. Guess what? It's personalized and they're also asked. They're always asked not to sell the cards. He's doing it as a favor. And then you're spitting it in his face by wiping his signature and selling it. You're doing like everything possibly wrong that you can possibly do all at once. Coconut Head Face Man says, my brother in Christ, you literally have this exact card listed on eBay for $13,000 right now. I was excited to see this and thought you were a fellow fan of Kamiya's art. Fellow fan of Kamiya's at first, but it's pretty clear you're just one of those investment slime balls. So this is beyond investment slime balls. This is deceiving. This is fraud. 13K, laughing, crying face. It would have been more funny if it wasn't so pathetic. We have Shiny Magikarp. It says, that'd be one thing if you were keeping the cards or your own collection. Then we'd have to ask why you're removing parts of the signature. PSA should have caught the altered card and not even graded it. Agree. Hard agree. PSA, shame on you, you shameful little babies. All right. Ultimate Pokeflute now. Out of all the cards I have signed from him, I'm okay with parting from several and keeping the few I treasure. Okay, now he's only keeping a few. Remember before where he was only selling a couple? It turns out they're all for sale. They're just not necessarily all for sale at the same time. Probably likely due to the fact that he wants to let on or he doesn't want to flood the market with all the signatures at once. But the thing is, he's hiding all this shit. He's being a sketchball. And good on you, Reddit, everyone in this thread that called him a wiener baby to the extreme, because it's exactly what it is. Coconut says, how the hell did you manage that? A signed Kamiya card of any kind would be a dream come true for me. He did a private signing for a friend of mine. No, your friend pretended to be his friend and was told not to sell, and you guys are wiping and selling them. That's what it is. It's plain as day. Hizocock says, then you repay him by altering the signature. For anyone not in the know, look up the cert on PSA. You'll see it says authentic altered. This guy is known for altering signatures to remove the personalization, which is required by most artists. He's been asked to stop and has other people go for him, which upsets the artist as they can get in trouble and potentially ruin it for others. So that's the thing. Anyone that of his friends that are going to get stuff signed for him, I've mentioned this before in the video, but you know you're risking your own ability to go to these events, right? Because he broke the rules, he's kicked, and then you're working around the rules. You're breaking the rules by allowing someone that is banned to participate in the event indirectly. You're gonna get banned as well. I don't know. You can't explain this stuff to people, but I mean, if you want to risk your own ability to go to Pokemon events, then by all means. Here we go. This guy also likes to threaten people at events and overall a treat, just so people know who they are dealing with. Very true. Very true. Coconut Head Face Man. Oh, is Op the one flipping this thing for like 13K on eBay right now? I take back what I said. Fuck that noise. People like that are the reason I'll never be able to get my dream Yukamori card. As fun as it is getting back in the TCG scene after all these years, this culture of investment that seemed to balloon with pandemic is vile. So this isn't just, it's not just investment here. You can be honest and invest in stuff. Typically the signature stuff is not exactly that gets into shade zone when you're doing stuff like wiping signatures, wiping personalizations. But yeah, this is more along the lines of a scammer. This is like, you might as well be selling counterfeit cards or something like that. If you're going to alter them, because it's the same thing. You're still deceiving people. You're selling something that isn't what is described. You're leaving out important details. All right. Atari says, anyone who posts a picture like this talking about the population rather than the signature inevitably has things backwards. Very true. All right, here we go. Look up the cert on PSA. You'll see it says authentic altered. Where does it say this? I do not see this listed anywhere where it says altered. So you see this, even the ones that are, people are going to have a hard time if they see it whatsoever. It needs to be very prevalent. The same thing when certs are deactivated, when there's fake cards on the market, when there's any of that stuff. It should be very obvious, PSA. It should be very obvious that you should make it very obvious. People are not going to read through the fine print on each individual like cert lookup. It doesn't say it on the label because you fucked up. You fucked up the first time, and now you're not owning your mistake, and it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for every single one of you that worked there. Hisoka, what's going on here? You're right, seems like something either changed or it's a different card, but if you go on Rattle Pokemon's YouTube video, you can see this guy admitting to it and a bunch of other proof that he alters signatures. Yes. All right, we got viewers in here. K. Chorton. Or Casey Horton, too. Horton? He's essentially admitted it in this thread, so I believe you, but was just curious to see if the cert had anything that confirmed it was altered. Seems like another example of PSA unable to identify something that was altered. With how much money is involved in these vintage cards, it's concerning. Yeah, it's extremely concerning. So it's bad enough. We get it. You're going to make mistakes. You got minimum wage employees that are going to mail finger bang your cards. But at the same time, when something comes in like this, if you're going to authenticate things, you got to actually do the homework on it. There's no way these should ever have been put in a case. Grump Bump says, boo, you suck. Let's give him a little upvote for that. We got L7494 saying this guy is an ass. He's been brought up multiple times by people like Opossum for altering signatures. Yes, I alter signatures. Why am I an ass for that? Hal says, because you're essentially deceive the artist in order to get the signature altered to remove it in any personalization and then just flip for a profit. So yes, you're deceiving the artist, and you're deceiving PSA, and you're deceiving the buyer that is going to be a buyer. You're not keeping these things. People like you are why there likely won't be any signing sessions in the future. Multiple artists have spoken out about the same kind of crap that you pull. All right. I'm not the one that talked to the artists. I never knew they weren't supposed to be sold in the first place. Oh, yeah, it was your friend's personal signing that happened, and you didn't know they were supposed to be. Fucking, oh my God. Like, he can't even play dumb. He's so fucking dumb. He can't play dumb. He's just dumb. I got them from a friend. Some were sold, but I kept the majority. Remember earlier he said that he's going to keep a select few, and now he's going to keep the majority? There are so many people that sell autographs that even work for the Pokemon organizers. So many people hate on me, but don't realize how normal it is among the people who actually collect signatures. The only people that care are people that don't even collect signatures. So you're missing the point here. This is some straw man fucking limbo here. I don't think you get it. The problem is you're deceiving the artist. Other people that are selling signatures aren't necessarily deceiving the artists. They're not necessarily wiping signatures. If they are, I'll gladly make a video about them too. It's wrong. It's all around wrong. And then you're deceiving the people that you're selling to. And you're making shit up about how many you're actually selling. You're a fucking flipper. Who gives a shit? I don't care if people want to flip Pokemon cards, but when you're deceiving the artist, you're deceiving the grading company who fucking doesn't do anything. They sit on their goddamn thumbs instead of fucking deactivating every single one of your cert numbers, which they should, and paying out the people that were unfortunate enough to buy them. Then what the fuck? What are we doing here? What the hell is this? And then you're deceiving the buyers. You're a fucking shitty person. Go find another way to make money. Go find another way. I don't give a shit if you want to sell Pokemon cards. I don't care if they're signed and you want to sell Pokemon cards. But you don't deceive multiple people along the way just so you can make a buck. That's the problem here. I know you're too fucking dumb to understand it, but that's what it is. Sorry about the language in this one. A little heated. This guy's an absolute idiot, and I'm glad people are dragging him. It's fucking unreal. Intellectual. Also, at the same time, like he's been mocking PSA. So I don't know what it is. I got another video that's coming out. I don't know. It's before or after this one, but another video coming out that we're in this weird scenario where people are altering cards, and they're just spit in the face of PSA, and PSA fucking does nothing about it, or the other grading companies don't do anything about it. Like it's so weird to me. Like you're just gonna sit back. I'm just waiting for them to do something here. They have every opportunity to take action and shut this stuff down, because it's just going to get worse. It's up to the grading companies, unfortunately, at this point in time. If they're going to keep grading this fucking idiot stuff, then he's going to keep doing it. If he can't get it graded, and then he's labeled, and he's just selling raw cards, no one's going to believe any of his shit. You're lending authenticity to this fucking idiot. Like, it's bad. I hate grading enough as it is, because you're wasting a bunch of fucking money on a bunch of minimum wage employees. That yes, everyone's got to start somewhere. It's fine, but at the same time, as I've mentioned a billion times, you should value your own opinion far more than a minimum wage grader. If you're in the hobby, even if you're in the hobby for 5 years, let's say you're in the hobby for 5 years, you spend a lot of time looking into stuff. You get into the niches that you really enjoy. You know more. You know more than the people working at PSA, and guess what? They can't pay you enough to go work there after you know that much. That's how it works. Why they can't afford to pay big salaries? They got overhead in the building. They got friggin' they got to pay out all the shit that they lose and damage, and they got to pay all the higher ups to friggin'. I don't even know what the fuck do they do. Tell people how to put cards in plastic. Regardless, all right, let's keep going. Sure you didn't, bud? It's not like you've done this in the past. You clearly know what you're doing, and you should be ostracized from the community for it. Hard agree. Since the first time I've ever altered a card, I've been honest with nothing to hide. No, you haven't. You're so full of shit. You just happen to leave out those details whenever you're talking to the artist, or whenever you're making your submission, or when you're sending other people to the events because you're banned from them because you don't know how to interact as a human being and not threaten people with violence. Yeah, I can't believe that he wasn't even banned. He wasn't even banned for this shady behavior, like with the artists. He was banned because he was dumb enough to threaten violence against somebody. It's simply a matter of opinion. If you don't like my altered cards, you don't have to enjoy them like the rest of the fans do. I have no negative feelings towards any one of my haters, as I wish you guys peace. There's a lot worse things happening in the hobby, and if you look around, there's human trafficking, and people are worried about what I do with my cards. I didn't deceive anyone. Your entire business model is deceit. You also deceived your kids into standing in line with you, you fucking dumb shit. Holy fuck. All right. So a lot worse things in the hobby, and there's human trafficking. We should, guys, look away. Don't worry about my fraud. Let's worry about human trafficking. Like, what in the hell? Oh, the fucking low IQ motherfucker. Pokefan says, someone banned this duel. Regman says, gorgeous card. I love that. Shiny Magic. Someone hasn't read the rest of the thread here. Shiny Magikarp 444 says, don't. Oh, no, we don't want to give him the shady. Don't. This person alters signatures and has been asked to stop coming to signings because of it. Again, it wasn't because of that, although it should have been. That's just a bonus reason to not have them at events. Chris says, I was just wondering today if a signed card of his exists currently filling a binder with all his work. You wouldn't have to know how would one go about setting up a private signing like that, would you? Ahsoka says, check my other comment. This guy likely ruined private signing event for most folks other than the big/wealthy collectors. So, like, that's the thing. If it's not like a big private event or something like that, then like the public events end up being ruined by the shady individuals like this. People that are gonna like skirt around the rules. People that are gonna, you heard of people like trying to get autographs after the event, not following the rules. Just, man, it's painful. Shiny Magikarp says this guy has pulled shady stuff with signatures. Yes. No, I didn't. LOL. You can have your opinion, but I was transparent with everything I have done. Nothing shady. Shiny says, you have been asked by the artists themselves to stop doing what you're doing. PSA does not accept altered cards, so it's obvious you were hoping to sneak this under their nose. You were ratted out to PSA, and the cert number on the card states that it's altered. You know exactly what you're doing, and it's sleazy. Quit trying to act like you're all transparent about your practices. The only way any of them found out is because I was honest about it and literally told everyone what I did. LOL. So why are you whining that most people find your practices shady as hell? I'm not whining. I'm stating that I'm transparent. Therefore, the shady comment you left was invalid. LOL. Shiny Magikarp says, if you're so transparent, maybe we all just hate what you do that much. Take a hint. Dang, it's obvious you got hate. So at the end of the day, doesn't that make you the bad guy? Take a look in the mirror before you make a moral judgment. Shiny Magikarp says, Lamau, what mental gymnastics is that? So as you can see here, good job Reddit. Good job people that are aware of what's going on of this idiot. Again, if this bamboozler, Ultimate Pokeflute would like to have a discussion with me, he was already made aware that he is welcome to do so, but we'll do it live in the Rattle Pokemon Discord if he wants to, if he ever so chooses to. I have my doubts. I don't think he ever actually wanted to talk to me, but there you have it. So and that'll be a public event similar to the Liquid Marketplace thing, where we'll open up a channel, we'll drag people in, no one will be able to talk except for us, and we can hash it out in real time. No edits, all very live, very much in front of people. So that's the offer. Take it or leave it. Pokeflute, you fucking pussy. All right, guys. See you later. Join the Discord. Bye.